OK, we have some breaking news to bring you following today's match at Old Trafford. An official complaint to the Premier League that a more experienced referee was not selected to officiate a game of such magnitude.
It's an opinion, and as opinion, whether it's right or wrong, you do not have the right to do what you do and go on social media and vent your anger in that way. Listen, we get things wrong all the time. It's only our opinion. We receive all kinds of things on social media. People think they've got a right to do it. It's just a society the way it is at the moment. But if you stood in the room with that person and confronted them, they'd back down, they wouldn't say a word. It's cowardly, it's pathetic. I feel from also got now is you've got a position where who wants to be a referee? Who wants to now, as a young kid? I know a guy, like a good friend of mine, who was a referee, got voted like one of the best referees for years, and he said to me, he was like, I couldn't be doing with the abuse. I could not stand walking off the pitch, and every decision that he made was talked about. So you're now got your top referee who does an incredible job. Yes, he's going to get things wrong, but so do players on the pitch. We make mistakes. That's part of life. But they're not going to want to be referees, are they? And we're talking about one of the most important jobs in the game, because they make the key decisions. You're not going to get people wanting to do that job at all, and it's understandable why.
That's absolutely sorry, sir.
No, go on.
That's absolutely amazing hearing you say that, because my best friend Alan White, I speak to him every Monday when I'm coming in just to discuss things and incidents. And he would tell, if he stood here, how upset I was this morning when he told me of what that boy's going through. And I really do mean that from the bottom of my heart. It upset me so much because, through no fault of my own, I was very ill when I was 21. And I was forced into refereeing because I couldn't play football, because I was too small, too tiny, and doctors wouldn't let me play football. That was 45 years ago. And I've enjoyed every single day bar one of my life as a referee, training, everything. But I look back now, and I see what's happened overnight and what Al's told me this morning, because he follows social media and I don't. And I can tell you, hand on heart, I can look you in the eye and tell you that my dad, if I was 21 again, my dad would say, you are not going to do that.
No.
Yeah.
If that happens to Michael Oliver, who's one of the best referees in the world, I am not letting you do that. It won't happen. So what you're doing, you're not actually having to go at Michael Oliver. What you're doing, you're stopping the lifeblood coming through behind him.
Yeah. To get a response and a performance like that in that short space of time.
What they've done has been absolutely fantastic. And I think more than anything, they've been talking to them. They made them understand what Manchester United is supposed to be. And then he's given them the freedom to go and do that. So there was no, as soon as they won the ball, it didn't matter where the ball was won, there was no restraint. Go forward, and we saw that in the first goal. You had, it's a free kick that Harry defends, heads it out, and all of a sudden they're 4 against 2. That's not something I've seen for a very, very long time in Manchester United. But that is what Manchester United historically always has been able to do. As soon as the ball is won, you go forward, and you don't think about what's going to happen behind you. That, I think, is something they've been talking to them about a lot, that when you get that opportunity. And it was fantastic. I mean, I can't praise Michael Carrigan and his staff enough for what they've done in such a short space of time, because it was not easy. And again, I go back to the 2 games where Fletcher was in charge. There was no difference. You couldn't see a difference with the same players. Today, it was 2 different worlds. It's just, if they can keep this up, I'm just looking at the fixtures left, The Champions League is
one game and you dream it. One thing Michael did say was, I've told the players to enjoy it. We're playing for Manchester United, you're playing at Old Trafford here. And you saw a smile on not just the players, but the supporters' face again today, Michael.
Yeah, but you can't. Enjoyment is a byproduct. You don't go onto the pitch thinking, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to love this today." Winning, you only enjoy it if you're winning, if you're scoring goals, if you're breaking fast. I mean, the pace in that Manchester United team now, they got. Peter said about direct, they were looking forward, but you can do that when you've got pace up front. And everywhere you look, there was players wanting to run forward, and then you get 1 or 2 players on the ball. You get Bruno on the ball, you get Kobe Mainoo on the ball. Casemiro was brilliant today. And all of a sudden it looks like a team when you've got those players willing to run forward. So yes, enjoyment, and everybody loves playing football. I mean, it's the greatest game in the world. But I tell you what, it's the worst game in the world when you're playing rubbish as well, and you can't enjoy it then. And these Manchester United players have probably hated football, hated the game for a long, long time. So yes, enjoyment is really important, but I don't think that you can go onto a pitch and say, oh yeah, we're just going to enjoy it today. Enjoyment comes with playing well and winning, and they will more than enjoy it tonight.
And City didn't enjoy it. And some of those points Michael's making about the way United set up with that pace, and did it catch them out a little bit?
Potentially. Well, I'm going to say obviously because it worked and they lost 2-0. But in regards to the way City are susceptible to chances and goals being scored against them, that it was perfect for them. They like to press high. They like to keep every player up high to sustain attacks. But then when you find yourself defending, it's either an offside or one-on-one. And you can't get that right every time. Can we any of us think of a moment in the game where someone was jockeying a United forward and there was delay in the attack? It was either he's offside or he's in on goal, and you can't defend like that. You're not able to give yourself a breather, to be honest. It's hard to kind of get in momentum in the game, because even if it's offside, it still lifts the crowd and it still gives momentum to the attacking team. So they probably need to learn to defend a little bit deeper and suffer and be comfortable in making it harder to beat, rather than when someone wins the ball, within 3 passes, they can be in front of your goal. And again, the first goal, that can't happen. They can't have an attack. And if I just think about where Cherki took the free kick from and the distance, Mbeumo's 10 yards ahead of him. By the time he scored the goal, I think Cherki's 40 yards behind him. Like, that can't be, especially in a derby, that can't be the outcome to any goal.
Let's have a look at it then, what Joleon's talking about. Because, as you say, Harry Maguire been classic just prior to this, hadn't he?
Yeah, he's down injured. You see when he lands here, oh my God. But he's the one winning the ball. And that's Harry was amazing today. He was a reason for the clean sheet. But this is fantastic by Bruno. He runs and runs and runs. And you ask the questions of the two defenders. What are they going to do? Are they going to stop and attack him? Or are they going to go with Mbeumo or with Ahmad on the right? This is a perfect counter.
You like Mbeumo's run here, Michael?
I do, because if he stays on the same line, him and Ahmad are chasing the same ball, all of a sudden he makes that dart towards the left, which then gives 2 options. Kusanov, I don't know. In fact, the 2 centre halves for Manchester City are way too narrow. I'm sure Joleon will go on to that. But the pace of the pass from Bruno, the way he just let it come. See, there's the dart. That then is the catalyst. That's then the game changer of that attack. And all of a sudden, he doesn't even have to take a touch. The ball is played perfectly. How else would Bruno present a ball? He doesn't know how to give a bad pass. And then it's just a one-touch strike right across the defender. But that change of direction of the run on the halfway line, change that from a promising attack to a goal-scoring attack.
And from a defender's point of view?
Yeah, definitely. He creates the space, but then Kusanov allows that space to get bigger. I think he needs to match Mbeumo's run and force the pass out to the other side, because as soon as he creates that space, like Mo said, Fernandes isn't going to misplace that. And as soon as he gets there, the gap's bigger. Now no one can recover. So if he matches the run of Mbeumo, joins the line, as soon as he goes wide, you go wide. So now you're forcing Bruno into having a shot or passing it out to the stronger position for you defensively, and he doesn't do that.
It's interesting how different we see that, because I actually think Kusanov's doing well. As a goalkeeper there, I don't want Bruno to take the ball and come directly at me, because that gives me no chance. I want him to pass it to Mbeumo. I want to have that angle where I can close it down a little bit. That will give me the best chance. The thing about it is, if he's doing what you say he's doing, then it opens up that gap. That Bruno can just run straight to the goal, and if he gets if the other defender comes across, he just rolls it out to Ahmad, then he's free. And that's why I think this attack was absolutely inch perfect. I don't think they could have done much.
But with that, what you're saying, them the second and third scenario of him letting Bruno take a shot or going out wide, it's delaying the attack.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't allow for that attack to be delayed, so no one can get back.
It's strange how different positions. Yeah. Like I agree with Joe that there's 3 scenarios. One is to pass it to the left, one's to pass it to the right, and one is to shoot from the middle. Yeah. Now, if I'm attacking, I'm thinking the Mbeumo one, I know the outcome was the goal, so it's easy to say now, but I'm thinking that is the most dangerous one. Prevent that. If anything, I'm jockeying, I'm staying wider and think, go on then, this is a bad situation, it's 3v2. But the worst, let's just let Bruno have a shot from 22 yards, 20, let him take another touch here. Let's split a bit, let him take another touch and have a shot. That is the lesser of the evils in my eyes. Then going to Ahmad is the next one. But that one there, That is the last one you're allowed to happen.
Funny, because that's the one I want.
That's the one you want,
And
because
that's
that's
the one
your
you
strength. That's your strength as an
I want
individual
As soon as
goalkeeper.
he does that, I would come out a little bit closer, angle down. I don't want Bruno. But when a striker comes running straight at you, there's no angle anywhere. It's
But he's
directly
25 yards out.
Yeah, but how he hits the ball is impossible to read, right? So you don't know if the ball is going to go to your left or your right. And as you run with the ball that bobs a little bit, you know how the ball then will react. It gives you less of a chance to save it, unless it's straight at you. But anything here makes it very, very difficult. Now, for me, this is how I'm thinking. I want Ahmad or Mbeumo to have the ball, because that gives me a chance to save it. So I want them to close it. These were the deals we all had.
But it gives you more chance to save it. It gives you the team a lesser chance. If I'm in Mbeumo's position, then I'm scoring 5 in 10. If I'm hitting it from the centre where Bruno is, I'm scoring 2 in 10.
But bearing in mind,
and that's me. But
but as a defender, you've also got assists, and we're talking about it. But this is the amount of time he should have to think about it. Mbeumo's on his strong foot. Force it out to Darlow, who's on a weaker foot. So then, it gives the keeper more chance to make a save, where I just don't think he gives himself all the time.
But okay, he passes the ball. If Kusanov's going out and closes that option down, he can still bring that ball forward. Then he passes it out to Ahmad. And don't forget, this is 4 against 2. This is a perfect counter-attack, because what we haven't spoken about yet is Doku behind. So when Ahmad gets a ball on the right, on his right foot, which is his strong foot, then it's a cross. Then you got Mbeumo, you got Doku, and you got Bruno himself against 2 defenders. That's a situation I wouldn't like.
I know, but that's another pass and another pass.
Yeah.
That's time and more things that can go wrong.
This
Bang, bang, goal. It's finished.
Discussion and debate, because we must move on to show 2-0. Now, you've been bemoaning, like all the United fans recently, the lack of options off the bench. What about Cunha off the bench today?
I was disappointed he didn't start the game, but when he came on, he made such an impact. This should never, ever lead to anything, but the quality of what he's doing here is just perfect. Then, of course, Rico Lewis goes to sleep. He's just been booked. I don't know if you're thinking about that. And Doku just nips in front of him and scores. But Mbeumo coming on and doing that, it's just... And we have, again, let me just repeat what I've said a few times today. That is, again, something that we haven't seen too much of in the last couple of years. Somebody crossing the ball,
And what about Rico Lewis's role in that, Jolie?
Yeah, again, he's just caught with his body position all wrong. Initially, he can see Dogu, but then when he runs into the box, he's facing his own goal, and by the time he sees him, he's already too late. He's already past him. But initially, Ake can drop a little bit deeper. As soon as the ball goes past you as a centre-half, drop into the line and shut the front corridor off.
OK, so that 9-game unbeaten run for Manchester City is over, and it is a derby defeat for them.